Hammurabi, the king who gave the world its first great legal code. Early life and rise to power. Hammurabi was born around 1810 BCE in Babylon, a relatively small city-state in Mesopotamia. At that time, Mesopotamia was a fragmented land filled with independent city-states like Larsa, Mari, and Eshnunna, all vying for dominance. Hammurabi belonged to the Amorite dynasty, a Semitic-speaking people who had settled in Babylon. When his father, Sin-Muballit, abdicated the throne due to old age, Hammurabi inherited the kingdom around 1792 BCE. At first, he ruled cautiously. Unlike other kings who sought war immediately, Hammurabi focused on strengthening Babylon internally. He improved infrastructure, built irrigation canals, and promoted trade, making Babylon a thriving economic center. But he was also a keen strategist. He understood that true power came from military strength and political alliances. Hammurabi's conquests, forging an empire. For the first several years of his reign, Hammurabi maintained peace, carefully observing his rivals. Then around 1766 BCE, he saw his chance. The powerful kingdom of Elam invaded the city of Larsa, one of Babylon's neighbors. Seeing an opportunity, Hammurabi formed alliances with Mari and other cities to drive the Elamites away. After defeating Elam, Hammurabi turned on his allies, using diplomacy, treachery, and military strength to bring city after city under Babylonian control. By 1755 BCE, Hammurabi had conquered the major cities of Mesopotamia, including Larsa, Eshnunna, and Mari. His greatest victory came when he defeated the kingdom of Assyria, bringing much of northern Mesopotamia under his rule. For the first time in history, Babylon was the dominant power in the region. Hammurabi was no longer just a king, he was an emperor. The Code of Hammurabi, the first great legal code. Hammurabi is most famous today not for his military conquests, but for his legal system. Around 1754 BCE, he commissioned the creation of the Code of Hammurabi, one of the world's earliest and most comprehensive legal codes. It was inscribed on a massive stone stele over 7 feet tall and placed in the temple of Marduk, Babylon's chief god. The code contained 282 laws, covering everything from property rights and trade regulations to marriage, criminal justice, and workers' wages. It was revolutionary because it introduced the principle of lex talionis, or an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. The laws ensured that punishments were proportionate to the crime, though they varied based on social class. Nobles were punished less harshly than commoners. For example, some laws included Law 196, if a man destroys the eye of another man, they shall destroy his eye. Law 200, if a man knocks out the teeth of another man, his own teeth shall be knocked out. Law 148, if a wife is caught in adultery, she and her lover shall be tied together and drowned. Though harsh by modern standards, the Code of Hammurabi was groundbreaking. It established legal consistency and promoted the idea that laws should be written and publicly available. Hammurabi's code influenced later legal systems, including the laws of ancient Greece and Rome. The Golden Age of Babylon. Under Hammurabi's rule, Babylon became the political, economic, and cultural heart of Mesopotamia. He continued large-scale irrigation projects, ensuring a stable food supply. Trade flourished, with goods moving from the Persian Gulf to the Mediterranean. Hammurabi also promoted art, literature, and religious unity. The worship of Marduk became the dominant religious force, helping to unite his diverse empire. Babylonian society under Hammurabi was highly organized. Farmers paid taxes in grain, merchants were held accountable for fair trade, and temples functioned as banks. Even though Hammurabi ruled with an iron fist, he was admired for bringing order and stability to a land that had been chaotic for centuries. Hammurabi's death and the fall of his empire. Hammurabi died around 1750 BCE, leaving behind a vast empire. However, his successors lacked his leadership skills. Babylon soon faced invasions from neighboring tribes, particularly the Kassites and Hittites. Within a century, the empire crumbled, and Babylon was no longer the dominant force in Mesopotamia. Despite this, Hammurabi's legacy endured. His legal code influenced countless civilizations, and his vision of a well-organized society shaped the course of human history. Babylon would rise and fall many times, but Hammurabi's impact was never forgotten. Hammurabi's legacy. Today, Hammurabi is remembered as one of the greatest rulers of the ancient world. His name is synonymous with law and order, and his Code of Hammurabi is still studied as one of the first examples of a structured legal system. His reign marked the first time in history that a single ruler successfully unified most of Mesopotamia, laying the foundation for future empires. From a small city-state king to the master of Mesopotamia, Hammurabi's life was a testament to intelligence, strategy, and vision. His empire may have faded, but his laws and leadership principles continue to shape civilizations thousands of years later.